All right, so it's a conversation we have to have now. We got to talk about Paddy Pimblett beating Tony Ferguson, putting an end to his career, hopefully. Based on what Dana said, it sounds like he's going to leave it up to Tony. At what point do you kind of pull the plug on this thing? And I just said that I don't talk about any guy's careers, and I'm not saying what he should do. I'm just saying I don't think he's going to win another fight. Okay? I don't think Tony wins another fight in the UFC. It just is what it is. Now, that's not to say Paddy looked good. Paddy looked real good in the first round. It's unfortunate that he got tired. I think what happened is he got his nose broken, and so he couldn't breathe through his nose, which obviously is going to lead to you getting more tired faster. Wait, what? You know what I mean? So, but man, in that first round, Paddy looked great. I mean, he looked really genuinely good. And he braided his hair. I don't know if that came. I wonder if that came because I said it on a couple videos, and then I also tweeted it, but not like anyone sees my tweets. But I don't know. Hopefully. Well, actually, it doesn't matter because he did. Someone else suggested that to me, and they were like, he needs to braid his hair so that it doesn't look like he's getting hit so hard when because his hair's like really wispy or whatever. And that was a really smart call by one of my viewers, and he actually did it. So that's good for you, Paddy. You look great, dude. You looked really, really good. Excellent. Tony, not so much. And I want to talk about the Goggins thing and all of that stuff. But first, before I talk about this, and I'm going to talk about Josh Emmett, that fight. I'm going to talk about a couple other fights, actually. But first, I have to show you this. So my boss was in Vegas last night, all right? So I had no idea. He's in Vegas last night. He texted me, hey, who should I bet on these fights? All right. It's my boss. It's actually my boss's boss. So I'm like, Jesus, I got to do a good job here. I told Gabrielle, I went and I quickly, because I don't do fight picks on the channel, generally speaking. I don't do them. So I went and quickly handicapped this fight card, and look at how I did. Look at that. Gizaev, correct. Andre Fili, correct. Cody Durden, wrong. Garbrandt, correct. Aldana, correct. Alonzo Menefield, correct. Josh Emmett, correct. Paddy Pimblett, correct. Shavkat, correct. Alexander Pantoja, correct. And then he and I talked on the phone about the Leon and Colby one, and you'll see that in a second because I said I can't feel confident either way. And then this is him after he bet. He's with his wife. Amazing, bro. I love you. You just made my night. Mercer's dying. I was like, every pick Jesse made hit. And then he's like, it's amazing because he had a parlay with some of the ones that I picked. And I hit, I hit every single fight except for Cody Durden. Every single one, including Josh Emmett, underdog, Manifield, underdog. And we talked on the phone. He's all, if you had to pick for the main event, and I told him Leon. And so look at the bottom over here, he says, Edwards, you literally picked every winner. I went 10 for 11. 10 for 11, son. How you like them apples? And the only reason it's like even that notable, I've probably done that before. It's because it's my boss's boss. He's the chief revenue officer of my company. How you like them apples, son? Daddy making you money all over the place. Anyway, so yeah, let's chat. Now, by the way, if anybody noticed that I picked Emmett in that, and I said something about, I think I picked Bryce Mitchell when I was on here. It's because Bryce Mitchell watches my channel, dude. If I'm being honest, I was like really what I said. So when I actually, I texted him earlier about that too. I said Emmett and Bryce is 50-50, but Emmett's a 2-1 underdog. So take Emmett. So, it's not like I was just making it up that I thought Bryce could win. I really thought it was 50-50, but man, the value bet was just too good to not take. That was a horrendous knockout. A horrendous knockout. Bryce Mitchell had a seizure. You know what else, dude? Before we even get moving on Colby and on Paddy and Tony, I need to say this, dude. Where did that go? Actually, it doesn't matter. If you did not watch the Aldana and Rosa fight, you need to do that immediately. It's the best female fight I've ever seen. But yeah, so by the way, if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, why don't you go ahead and do that? I would appreciate it immensely. And also, why don't you go check out Yo Kratom for bulk kratom, $60 kilograms. You guys will love it. It's got all the strains. It gets here in 2 days. It's like Amazon. It is the most reliable delivery service you will ever find. YoKratom.com. Kilograms are $60. It's the best price on planet earth. Yo, kratom. All right, so listen, when it comes to Tony Ferguson, I want to talk about the Goggins thing, all right? So that was a bizarre choice to begin with, right? That he brought in Goggins. But I think seeing Goggins there, I realized that the MMA community correctly gets repelled by people trying to take control of fighters' careers who are not fight coaches. You know what I mean? Because like in that fight, right? By the third, and in between the second and third round, Goggins is in there and he's yelling in Tony's face. He's like, let's go, let's go. And I understand the situation he's in, right? Tony Ferguson asked him to train him. And Goggins said, okay. And then Goggins is in his corner. And Goggins doesn't seem like a guy who's just going to like sit there and not say anything. What can he contribute? He can contribute motivation. That's all he can do. But how we all interpret it is like, shut the fuck up, Goggins. What the hell do you know about anything? And in some cases, what Goggins is providing is exactly what a fighter needs. Just stick some fire into them, man. Like, get some fire in their fucking belly and send them back out into the cage. Sometimes that's what they need. But it just felt weird and wrong because he's famously not a fight coach, But again, I really think that all that showed the entire thing with Goggins was all just demonstrating that Tony Ferguson's mind cannot accept that his physical body is like breaking down. Like, he can't. It's like, oh, it's just because bringing on Goggins, all Goggins can do is exacerbate the one thing Tony's already good at. That's the only thing that Tony has is absolutely unmatched and he still will be when he's 45, is his cardio. The only thing that Goggins can come in is push cardio, which you don't need, and also your motivation and your mindset. Okay, well, dude, Tony, like, your mindset's not the problem. Okay? Your problem is that your fight style, while not super explosive, relied on your ability to at least be kind of fast and also be able to kind of like take damage and not, it's like, it was obvious that someone who fights like that at a certain point, it was going to be a rapid decline. And like, the decline is here. I don't believe he's going to win another fight. And I don't take any pleasure in saying that. I realize I sound like I shit on Tony on this channel a lot, but like, I don't mean to do that. I just don't know how to cover him while simultaneously being honest at this stage of his career without sounding like I'm shitting on him. It's like, I will continue to say Tony was the scariest dude in the world in his prime. The scariest person you could ever have standing across the octagon from you. Seriously, if you go pound for pound in their prime, scariest guy that you could have across the octagon from you, I think, is Tony Ferguson. He was a fucking animal, dude. He was an absolute animal. Terrifying in any way that you could quantify what it means to be scary. But listen, dude, like, at a certain point, everybody is going to hit their physical breaking point, and that has obviously happened with Tony, and it's over. Like, this is over now. He's not, and what I mean by over is he's not going to win another fight in the UFC. He's not going to win another fight. So whatever happens from here, he had an incredible career. It's unfortunate when this is how a career ends. I hate watching this, dude. I hate it. I hate it. Because generally it happens to the guys who love being a fighter so much. And because of that, you can look at them and go, this is going to be rough. Like, this is not going to be a smooth transition into retirement. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I don't know, man. It's going to be a rough transition for Tony. And it always seems to be that way with the guys where everyone knows it's like, dude, this is over. And they're like, no, just give me one more. They'll change the way they train. They'll do all this stuff. And it just never ends up working out. And I think the reason they hold on so tight is they know exactly what we know, which is like, there's nothing on the other side for this guy, And I hope that's not the case for Tony. I hope that he had. Like I hope that like he gets on some psych meds or something, and it kind of, you know, I don't know, like just kind of clicks the dial a little bit, and then he could go give motivational speeches or something. Honestly, like that guy is so crazy. Like he could be a motivational speaker. You know, he's weird, but he could be a motivational speaker. As long as someone goes click. And I hope that's what happens for him. But like, I don't know. But Paddy looked good, dude. Like I said, Paddy looked good. And yeah, I mean, it's such a weird situation because you're like, okay, so what is that win at? It was lose-lose for Tony. Or I'm sorry. Well, it was, I don't know. Like for Paddy, there's nothing super big to gain unless you really starch Tony, which he almost did in the first round. I don't know how Tony survived that round, honestly, but like, you know, I'm rooting for Paddy though, dude. I'm rooting for Paddy. I never wasn't rooting for Paddy, but like, he's good people, dude. Everybody breaks his balls. I don't really understand why. Anytime someone gets a lot of hype and something like that decision happens and then they kind of just try to defend that they actually won and then people, I don't know. Like, I like Paddy a lot. And I think that, you know, if he can continue to fight like he looked last night and he looks that good against better opponents, then he'll be all right, dude. He'll be all right. Now, on to some other fights that I wanted to talk about. Cody Garbrandt. Wow, dude. Cody Garbrandt looked fantastic. He looked fantastic last night. Now, that was obviously a hand-picked opponent that was there specifically to get beaten, you know, like he was there to get beaten. That's what he was there for, right? It's like, he wasn't there to like, you know, he was there to jumpstart Cody Garbrandt's career, you know? And I think that he probably did that, you know, because Cody looked great and good for him. So what is going on? Whatever. So, yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything to add to that. But, and that Josh Emmett knockout, though, oh my God, dude. That was scary, dude. That was a scary ass knockout, dude. Like, Bryce Mitchell, like, when a dude's convulsing, like, when a dude's straight up convulsing after a fight, it's like, oh my God, like, you know, is this guy all right? You know what I mean? Like, is this guy going to survive this knockout? Like if you didn't at least entertain like, dude, is he going to make it? Then that's weird because he was moving like a person who got punched in the face, fell down, hit their head on the concrete, convulsed and died. Like that's what that looks like. You know, like when someone hits their head and dies, like that's what that looks like. That was super fucking scary, man. And he's such a savage, man. He got up and just walked out on his own. I mean, which is crazy given that knockout. I mean, his lights were out. I had just gotten done talking about how when guys like Josh Emmett throw heat all the time, it seems like they don't actually end up getting knockouts very often because they throw so much heat that they kind of telegraph it just a little bit more than someone who's really crisp. But good God, dude, when they land, that was unreal. That was an unreal knockout, dude. That's got to be the worst knockout, like punch. That's got to be the worst punch knockout that I can think of ever, dude. Because like when you think about, you know, what other contenders would be for that, and you got to be, you know, you think about like Rich Franklin over Nate Quarry. That one was gnarly. But I think this one was worse. This one was worse because, you know, when the guys get hit from the side, you know, and it's like, boop, it looks really bad because you see their head snap. But if someone gets hit straight on like that, you know, boom, just straight to the chin, and where like their skull kind of, you know, boop, instead of going like this, instead of twisting, it goes straight back, and that's the knockout mechanism. That shit is scary, dude. I mean, Bryce Mitchell needs to chill for a little while, dude. He's gonna have a serious concussion from that knockout. A serious concussion from that knockout. That was bananas, dude. You know, the other thing I wanted to look at too, what was the other fight that I wanted to look at? So Pantoja, that fight was boring. Obviously, the Leon Edwards and Colby fight was boring. Shavkat fight was boring also, but he got it done. He stuck to his game plan, got it done. Lonzo Menefield, like I said, I picked that one, and I only knew who he was because Pat Barry he coaches him, and so I had watched his last few fights, and man, that ended up being a good pick too, dude. I made a lot of money betting last night. And then, that Aldana fight. I just want to keep saying this, that if you have not seen that Aldana fight, I cannot stress enough, you have to go watch that fight. You absolutely have to go watch that fight. It's literally the best female fight I've ever seen, ever. And I realize it's only a 3-round fight. Look at their face. Like, oh, God damn it. Where is it? Hang on. Look at their faces, dude. Look at their faces. This is so insane, dude. Hang on. Let me pull this up because okay, first of all, this is them in the hospital. Okay. That's them in the hospital. Look at this one. Look at her face, dude. It doesn't even make sense that these girls made it the distance. That was the most brutal thing I've ever seen. Though, bottom line, those are the two hardest bitches on earth. Straight up. Those are the two hardest bitches on planet Earth. End of story. Anyway, that's what I got. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. I love you guys. Bye-bye.